But that ultra-processed diet isn't driving those either. These medications, again, are mirroring something your body naturally produces, and it has some amazing benefits on human physiology. When we look at this challenging environment, we're wondering what's going to change. And we have a potential new hero riding in as these GLP-1 agonists that you might know as Ozempic, Wegovy, or other. These medications represent a fascinating inflection in society because they do work. GLP-1, glucagon-like peptide, is something your body naturally produces, and it has some amazing benefits on human physiology. It makes people feel full, which is brilliant. The second thing is they slow how fast moves through your digestive system, which increases your feeling of fullness for longer. The third thing they do is improve your body's sensitivity to insulin, which manages the sugar in your bloodstream, which is a major part of where hunger comes from also. So they're sort of targeting hunger from three different perspectives. These medications, again, are mirroring something your body naturally produces. Glucagon-like peptide is something our body produces, but we're producing less of it because lots of the things we need to produce it are disappearing. What's interesting about glucagon-like peptide is our body produces it in response to fiber in our diet, but we've taken fiber out of our diet. GLP-1 is produced when there's a diet rich in proteins and diverse fats, but that ultra-processed diet isn't driving those either. There's also an association between good gut health, and particularly the bacteria in our gut, and good production of GLP-1. But our gut is suffering under this modern diet. Your gut, all those bacteria that we call the microbiome living in there, they feed on fiber, and that fiber and different types of fiber is disappearing with this ultra-processed diet. It's really interesting that we've created this incredible drug to almost mimic the effect of the nutrients that we've taken out of our mainstream way of eating. Now, I'm for any medicine that helps individuals take control of their weight. But what's so important is we reconcile having good weight is not the same as being nourished. There is a slight concern that if I get my weight loss from GLP-1s, I won't be motivated to improve my diet. And we've actually seen conditions like scurvy, where you've got no vitamin C returning because people are eating such a narrow diet on these particular medications, something to be aware of. Weight management is a complex animal. And when we look at it, we have to say it's much more likely that you'll control your weight if the predominance of your eating is coming from whole foods, foods that you have made yourself from scratch. When we sat on this podcast with Emily English, we talked about a whole food approach and how critical that was in nourishing the cells of the body, but also fueling the gut. The bacteria that live in your large intestine have a huge role in managing your feedback loop to how hungry you are, but also all the key processes that go on in your body. Across almost every episode of The Energy Equation, we've spoken about sleep. And sleep is a major important factor in weight management. When you do not go through all the sleep cycles or you don't recover properly during sleep, your body is naturally inclined to decrease the hormone that tells you you're full. You have a propensity to overeat. And that propensity to overeat is primal. Your body's saying, you didn't get enough energy last night, Ollie. I'll go out and seek more energy today. And that's very normal. It just didn't realize you were going to do that for 365 days in a row. Just 3 years ago, a £10 supplement from Amazon stripped Team GB of an Olympic medal. And it could have actually been a lot worse. Imagine the scene. Just days before the men's 100-metre relay final, a British sprinter in search of convenience and trust turned to a seemingly harmless everyday supplement from Amazon. Little did he know, this entirely legal supplement was laced with a prohibited substance, capable of causing life-threatening conditions. This incident lays bare a critical truth, the sheer importance of knowing exactly what enters your body, even when it comes to everyday supplements. Enter Pure Sport, the supplements I use and trust. Just natural, effective, and informed sport certified. Informed Sport is a third-party program who test every single batch from Pure Sport, ensuring what you consume is exactly what you'd expect. For peace of mind with your everyday supplements, use code EE10 at puresport.co for 10% off. When we're looking at how we manage our weight, we have to go back to the fact, is the energy I'm consuming reasonable? And am I taking as much of my diet from homemade foods or whole foods as possible? Can they be predominantly plant-based and those plants be different in color and type? And that plays into so many different mechanisms, but what it really does is mimic the effect of these weight loss drugs and slows down our appetite and reduces our need to crave refined foods. New year, new me? These days, it feels like every brand is shouting about how supplements are the answer to everything. But before you jump into the latest wellness trend, it's worth remembering that the basics come first. Hydration, good nutrition, rest, and movement. These are the foundations of feeling your best. When you do decide to supplement, what you choose matters. And my advice is to look for products that are free from additives, artificial flavors, and unnecessary fillers. Personally, having seen so many professional athletes utilizing their products, I decided to give Pure Sport supplements a go. Their products are built on science, they're backed with evidence, they've got minimal ingredients, they do what they're meant to do. Whether it's their ultra electrolytes to keep you hydrated and energized, or their unwind product to improve your deep sleep, I trust what they make is developed with care and to work with your body, not against it. As you set your goals for 2025, remember, it's not about quick fixes. It's about small, smart choices that support your long-term wellness. Explore their full range via puresport.co and discover the clean, natural way to feel your best. Use the code EE10 at checkout for an extra 10% off. When we look at the other side of the equation, energy out, we face some conflicting advice. It's fairly true that if you exercise more, you will be hungrier. We do tend to look at weight management and say, probably the most effective form of exercise is resistance training rather than cardio. I would always break fitness into 3 different categories: my ability to deliver oxygen to my tissues, cardiovascular, things like running, cycling, rowing; my ability to generate strength and retain muscle mass, again, weightlifting or strength-based activities; and my neurological coordination, my balance, my flexibility, things like yoga and Pilates. And they're all of different values at different levels. From a weight management point of view, we do seem to see resistance training and strength work as the hero of the story. The reason for that being is that your muscle mass is one of the major contributors to how many calories you'll burn today. I mentioned as I sit here now, my heart is beating, my brain's working, that's burning calories. But the volume of muscle I have will be the main determinant of how many calories I burn each and every day, even if I'm lying in bed. Muscle is what we call active tissue, so it's always slightly vibrating, and that slight vibration demands energy, so it's a really important tissue for burning calories day in, day out. And if I do weight training, I burn the calories that I burn during the session, but if I was to gain a kilogram of extra muscle, I'll burn more calories on every single day, not just the days that I'm training. When we look at cardiovascular or aerobic exercise, it can play a crucial role in weight management, but it does have a few challenges. The first one being, it makes you quite hungry. And what we tend to get is people overestimate how many calories they burn in that 20 minutes on the treadmill, and they naturally overconsume those calories back. The other challenge is we don't get that calorie burn extending beyond the session in the same way as we do with resistance training. So there is a danger of overeating through false expectation, and there's also the danger that that doesn't effectively change my baseline volume of calories I burn in the same way as weight training does. Interestingly, beyond cardio versus weights versus other, we tend to find the hero of the weight management story in baseline activity. Your daily steps, or how active you can be within your own constraints, is a major determinant of weight management, potentially equally or more important than these bursts of exercise. We do want people to get as much daily activity as possible, both deliberately, but also incidentally. There's something called NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis. Sounds great. And it's really those calories you burn doing incidental bits of movement, standing versus sitting, twitching, scratching your ear. If those elements add up to an extra 100 calories a day, that could be the big difference between weight rising or falling over a calendar year.